Good morning, welcome, and thank you for joining us today as we explore how ecosystem restoration can unlock opportunities for building climate resilient communities, especially in regions like Gadchiroli, Maharashtra.
Skill restoration is settled. Treatment and studied evidence does it meals and needles apart. Students can so attitude. Instead, is naturally the if events are reducing the gene, sustain the states. If you grow, it increases a piece of genera to create a lasting impact. But I leave the state by with digital images, which screening social exam participation. So, this is originally the take such many days to extend the sharing habit in the Indian in the culture. I want to learn the same kind of Christmas if I can put it like right away. It's for the discussion. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Once again, a long and for nice days. With apologies at the beginning itself, if I stumble, because I've been waiting for this moment time actually long. In case if I stumble, just apologies. So, this as Anvi told, it's about ecosystem restoration. We know India has committed not many global commitments, one children's, like restore 50 billion. Commitment under UN facility, United Nations Convention on Desertification to restore life. We know we have around 20% of area degraded as India. So all these require some dedicated efforts. But for that, you need to have evidence, which non-scientifically backed evidence to take initiative. At the same time, along with these initiatives, the key factor of the renewable sector is also finance for restoration. So these factors make it important to display on what the actors who can take steps and what are the necessary actions. Yeah, only actually the step of building in evidence and the assessment in maturity, especially assessment for the rainfed region. I want the presentation. So here, familiarizing with the landscape. Maturity is a beautiful landscape in a forest resources and confident deposit of the area is in the forest. It's a mosaic landscape where agriculture and agriculture feeds the restricted forest land. Previously, it's a tropical dry species forest. The gives got many non-timber forest products, but some of them are related. It was food trees, lower food, and others are related to Servantry, Varela. These are some of the prominent Indian species that we on these forests. Right, because this land is rainfed, agriculture is the major occupation, but it is also limited to a specific season in the monsoon. So, 73% of farmers who are small and virgin farmers began holding using to nectars. This makes us speaking vulnerable to the effect of climate change. This effect comes to the rescue when there is any issue with the agriculture production. So there is as being rainfed, it receives plenty of rainfall in the monsoon season, but in the following season, in the post monsoon, the district suffers from water. So because it is usually the agriculture is not monsoon seeding, which is predominantly paddy. Paddy monocropping is a major cropping practice in the district. In the following rabi season, fully really remain fertile. And this is the reason why the cropping intensity in the district actually goes about 150%, which is actually 151% for our country. So comparing with the national average, national average also covers the low values. Still, comparing the cropping intensity. I mean, the district still has some potential in improving the population. Also looking at the dynamics of cultivation, so one study is the monocropping and also the widely accepted concept of the adhering method. So there are people working on this. And being a tribal district, now living in forest would not have been a good choice. So this is affiliated agriculture is water. As I told you, this is a forest dominated science. So the rights of is recognized as a forest, right? setting rights in your international forest is that. So if you can see, comparing with the rest of the Maharashtra, there are 36 districts in Maharashtra. And when you compare, literally has a significant proportion of that in the community forest in the lake forestry. To tell you what is CFR and IFR, so community forests are the areas where communities have been historically exactly resources like mining forest used in daily like important need for their use. So these are the areas where community is sure. I mean, community has a say in deciding the forest management. And right for the areas for recognized for an individual. The individual has a right for limitation also for conservation. And are recognized within the forest. So we can see culture is performing very well on the rights recognition. And this is because of the active presence of communities, organizations, specific organizations working that and historically, Ramsgate have been very active in the chain. This is exactly way I see that. I was working into the methodology. It's not assessment. The restoration opportunity assisting methodology. So this methodology was developed by IEC, International Union for Conservation of Nature, and we believe the gathering the project party. And this has been applied so far in 40 countries. And for the first time in India, this was adopted in city district in a in WRHC. And this is the second adaptation of this methodology in India and first time in the Chile. It means the restoration opportunity in methodology, it is marketing. It was it gives us the opportunity to identify the challenges. Then, what are the suitable interventions? Where can the intervention be done? What is the potential of intervention? Who can be beneficial? Who can be the active? Identify the stakeholders. And what are the enabling environments? So these are some of the questions of this methodology. It's some answer. So we had adapted this methodology. What was the adaptation was? The first adoption of this methodology in India was in CD, where the study looked at tree-based intervention. Right, so this, as I told you in the beginning, like the landscape is more of natural resources based. So they use like agriculture as well as water resources along with tree intervention. So for adaptation, we included the questions deliberating into the questions in agriculture and resources, as well as water resources, in our ecosystem services analysis, and in our species analysis, in landscape analysis, and other things. So this is just a sense of the activities that undertaken for this. So we are in total we have interacted more than 400 stakeholders across different clinics. So we started with inception workshop in Nagpur, then we went to the consultancy people in Technically, and then put specific insights from block and coaching block. Then there are 12 blocks in coaching. And after them sailing actually, after then we did the studying coaching block. And then for further deep dive and the landscape, we went to 6 ladies to connect the information. So overall, more than 400 stakeholders still things like this situation. As I told you in the beginning, so an activity was about agriculture practices in our different things. And one of the important criteria for identifying the intervention was the land tenure. Given as I told you, this is a forest dominated landscape where rights of nice for communities as well as for individuals also people have their own agriculture and outside forest area. So recognizing the land tenure is important. That what we did was we identified the private land and some own agricultural land, also the individual forest type as area. And the community land, there is common lands, common urban village, CFR area, where community forest management committees have right to decide and take decision. And the general land is likely the protected areas around in and around the forest and I put it and identifying the interventions we have taken in this state. As I told you, one prevent failure was the consideration, also who can make the decision. So for that, we identified 3 levels. The very first is the village level, where interventions can be adopted in individual policy as well as in common areas. So where the decision maker would be the Gram Sabha, if it's a common area, or also the CFR management committees, if it's a CFR area of the village. And block level, the decision maker would be either the Gram Panchayat, the intervention is spread in one Panchayat, if it's across the Panchayat, then the relevant Gram Panchayats would be the decision. And also at district level, district administration decision maker. So what is study finds is over 80%, 1.17 million hectares of area in which is suitable for restoration under these 5 major categories. So first category is the agriculture intervention on the side, where IFAR and also the military farmer is a free land can take the decision. As you can see, the military was private land. Under the tree-based intervention, as forest secretary identifies three categories of forest classes. One is the very dense forest, where canopy is more than 70%. And it's moderately dense forest, or canopy lies between 40 to 70%, and then there is forest where canopy density is less than 40%. And then scrap one. So we have identified tree-based intervention for this open category, open forest category. We can take up interventions when it's ready and would be decided by the community, different committees, would be decided by in consultation. Then we know the forest department. And then the other intervention is particular forest canopy, which is more than 50%. For the moderately dense forest and the very dense forest area. This falls in the southern end of blocks of the tree, where we have palm record dialects century. There is what I'm also electric. These areas are suitable for protection, continued protection, and also the village also. And when we have agriculture for water resources conservation, this was identified as a place that will most of the restoration intervention, given the landscape is water fisheries and topping season and coastal. So you can see the map. So this is actually getting the intervention. So again, we can clearly see the possibility of tree-based intervention is very hard because the area under forest is very hard. So this is the intervention for the water resources. The water resources potential definitely. There are interventions like ponds. There are watershed micro irrigation works. It's really clear. And these 5 major categories speak about rural restoration potential, which speaks about conservation potential. But to exactly implement the restoration on grid, you need some specific intervention which can be taken on. So for this, for agriculture, we are focused on double cropping. These are residential spring moisture as well as the available surface water. The aim is not to extract, not to go for groundwater, given the challenges we already seen over extraction water in other areas. There are such culturally culturally at this stage is at a good position where water depth is still shared. So we deliberately try to keep the interventions independent of ground extraction. Then we have option of doing water efficient paddy cultivation, given paddy is the 90% of the area falls in the paddy. Looking garden, integrated nutrient and nutrient and pest management. This is important for the areas which are falling closer to the forest edge or within the forestry type of areas, given the impact of practices in the neighboring. Agricultural forestry is important for improving the resilience communities, especially on the spread out on the scale option throughout the year. This is necessary in the end from the vulnerability state of the population. For tree-based intervention, the CFR areas are being placed in the right area. So there is a mix of intervention, mixed species implementation. This can involve a number of NTFPs. As I told you, NTFPs is an important part of economy in Kachijadu. And bamboo rehabilitation gram sabhas are actually getting benefits from the extraction of bamboo and sale products. So bamboo is important. At the same time, silviculture development, because these areas are suffering from non-availability of grazing and for pasture. So this can be a good intervention as a and I told you it is beyond conservation management for water resources. When we went to the community to identify what kind of ecosystem services it would prioritize, these kept in the list. And this where the priority was mainly for the regulating services. They block in various private services like character services was usually services. And when we went to the literature to look at what kind of services can be yielded for the interventions that they have identified, they were even meaning more. Say, we don't have potential to good. In which really coastal areas are very rich. When you have animation services, you take artist services and come from the interventions. Whether the community can get to be placed into these services with supporting and the lifestyle services. And we also try to quantify the provisioning services that can come from these interventions. And for this, because some limitations, these are at a different scale. So if you look at the production, people, if we just look at the sea of area study will make it, there is potential to yield 376 million tons, which is still when, by the estimate is not enough to meet the demand, but still we can, I can start some deficiency. This plywood, more than as per census 2011 in India, more than 80% of the population in Gachibowli is still dependent on sugar. So, to know the irrigation was anything that can come from the purchase forest. And overall film production, if you bring the Rabi Filter under cultivation, from the short duration, which can be up for 2.5 months, like most of the only it came during the session one is the subscribe. It doesn't require too much of irrigation or consider without irrigation. One was for chickpea, it can also come way on residues and moisture. And the moisture is there in soil can not be got over the solar period. So this period can be placed with us. So this can give you 61,000 tons of additional production just from the purchase. These estimates are from the block level. Whereas when you go to the district level, the forest can sequester 70 million tons of land. But overall, if you see what the benefits these services these interventions can bring to the communities, that they can skill the they can bring the fire rise under yellow field under cultivation in the second season, which itself is an added service. And people are prioritized given that it's also they want the availability to do the cultivation. Immediately promoting cross diversification with the study is the monocropy, and that's a challenge even in the district. But first time income streams through the read forestry and interface. It increasing in production as they're explaining and increasing farmers' resilience with harvesting setting. They were definitely improving the ecosystem and sources. When you look at the social impact analysis, you found it is the landscape is dominated by government and community and spiritual segment. And the stream that presents with private gas, largely restricted to bamboo, paper, and rice seeds. So there is scope for bringing private and other key community actors are like social management committees, guidance management committees, and then like scale safety. So the won't help you to look at necessary enabling conditions, manifest, article, physical, market, and social. So this tells us ecologically the answer is very suitable for the fruit and tree during the fruit trees and other native species. This can be taken suitable. Socially also, people are aware of the challenges. People are looking for the change. This can bring positive changes for the right. The only thing that was missing was the presence of parents. There is need to bring that up. I mean, government is also cognizant of the fact and launch a report. This is the overall cost of the restoration. It is still very high, but given the area for restoration potential was taking the land. And if you look at largely look at the finance for restoration in India or even globally, we know it is the in India. The restoration finance estimated the value is only by the government practice reports. So 94% supported by the government in India. And we look at even when we try to look at the funding opportunities available in actually they all came from the government sources. You can read the schemes. These are the schemes. There are schemes, any schemes available. Definitely there are some issues of access to that is there. And there are other additional financial opportunities also. But everything is clear. So what to say? I mean, what will be the next step? One is we need to take the community on board, and definitely Gram Sabha is a very important actor in that in community-based institution. But this side, I mean, I know time is up in my presentation. I have finished. Gram Sabha is one of the community institution in Gachibowli. It's a village of 90 villages. 90 Gram Sabha, so 90 villages have come together and to deliberate on trade in TFPs. So they have taken a Hindu and it's a really profitable business. And good, more than that, it's not more than that, it's the agents. And now the Ram Sabhas are the decision maker. They take the decision of who will deal with the NTFP that we are harvesting from our parts. So similar kind of initiatives can example different plans of the best ones to integrate with the ongoing public programs and definitely monthly. And there are many other schemes for this. And this we need to bring access together. We have tried our best. Actually the administrative answer and we have got very good people from that. So an answer. Really tell your time answers. If there are questions, my go to sleep. Such a help. Despite the dummies. look at what's going on at all the teachers. Well, it's really cool. Oh, this everything on it. Literally, I mean, how in this world everything are. Next time, even consider something media, but like as I do, participation, let us in discussion and participate is a way we can be adopted. And in general, the same intervention. Because I have seen interventions. The very just to discuss our community. If you not mention a lot, specific, yeah. Yeah. What? How are you? Such these out. Stop it. The even okay, what is that? But it's about the people today. She went out. Father, they have things up in the glory. Making things what we did, usually the cabinet. About it, that's where the things we do. But only they are starts to be no, you do that because no people was they happens to me. You well, yeah, yeah, actually, that's going to can. I'm not really people that can be against the really up to the ways. So seeing one so it was presentation by the was I did hope some great lengths in how we going back to the one with the methodology that I feeling that we are got into it. And if we like even if our first stage photo, they score document safely in it related. The government who is taking up paper is in India. So they ask it at the city, so I really very basic reason and this kind of methodologies are not being taken up by the stakeholders. So as you have already covered the second methodology, you are already very fast. So have your team decided on how to innovate for connect with most of the departments because there are also the stakeholders like obviously I did a project that so the first thing is our this talk with community, I was the trading that could be problem approach what are the people sitting on the copy. That's how the personal policy. When you go out around it, what they decided was have to be that. So I don't think that this animator makers are regularly how I waited impact in this new not places like yours going to the them. So when plan they come and get with you with help me. Oh yeah, actually, there are already basically on notification about this project actually. One thing is young. But the already started in the other opportunity when I was not writing this video looking in some areas. At first, stepping anybody in that one is big. Yes. And then I can last or this was in this stage and pay. So, anything that doesn't to what we cannot, that is speak up from the patient thing. When about what we did, yes, definitely. What is like in that? What is in the you want to be what does in release? Then it's going to be what we got to make in the Jews in it. I think we here, I mean, endings were a different. With Wilden and I took the beer as he's got on the field. Very well. They don't even know what we can show. They don't give you how to do it. So, thank you for closing. We should have a hard work to give it a chance. You're good at it. And I was good to know it. Complete list. Clear January. Keep up to it. Page percent and everybody look at the new quarantine right it is vaccination all vaccinated from India. That's the university and important civilian and this was I said this you Exactly. And this CSD body. They have this expansive education and sovereignty regulation of as you did. I mean, you know the thing. Get the right to decide. I think Stem said president, the Chinese chief excitement getting technical make of it. The she right leading certainly and possibility initiatives, but he even has something to change in the system's isolation refused in to research. Instead of having the shadow, not to see these experience for color levels by the shots, but integration to things and you can just Stacy everything area. Vice President statute of the shows sections as well as restriction of the crimes that happens to you. The specialized in party is generally available. They can not the question. The biology is doing the opportunity in how to pass the special. And so I really want to begin the discussion. Yes, so really can't see you going to be that. And since not easily, she had to get married to Gideon. It's such a unique about the negative. Yeah, so let me. As somebody who is to understand as you are right, you relate it. So, like, and it's like it's so these are journey with the help. The more you have to experience in that children, and you appreciate by the and it's really effective communication in it. So, help me, it's suddenly you will look at everything you come. Yeah, like me, really, get my give it. It was in the film like, good. Start to make your training for it. It's in every day. 50% for us, 50% battery, and to really is real products. It's a reach about me, what one action, you have a bigger, it's a department. So, yes, so, try looking up with me, can you just push me on the big room or sky? It's another hunger, sleep and work. It's a my basically, but my love, reset, look at this report, company, but sustainability of it forming sweat. Definitely, I personally have part of me excellent. Yeah, image. This this doing that this check up by this is the yoga, but me different. Well, it's like to make about yourself, obviously. This is a develop obviously. We make it for the strike. You see what I mean? You will think. Seems of that. In turning it about the when we are going to paint it, the increased yes, below. In Sopapo, we just finish it. We calculate would be like converters per day. Yes, and it's a statement like you, Mobby, what? Yes, it is beautiful. In that side, you still go, you speak, is a Spanish. Get your things about it. People very present. That's nothing. It's supposed to be big. It's not make it being with the इसको अगर easy कर potential से तो आगे काम करने की आवश्यकता सर अभी कैसे फोर्सेस में हम सिर्फ इस सिस्टम और एग्रीकल्चर में तो स्टडी में ecological people चीजों उदाहरण इस नीचे टेस्ट वो जब लाया ये this comes it is in is really about all of these potentials see things out here. So, यही बात मैं करने के चाहूँ जिन्हें जी आपने भी प्रेजेंटेशन देखा हमें का गाँव में भी आते थे आप लोग हमारे कई प्रेजेंटेशन ये तो आज के इंटरव्यू से साथ में देखते हैं आपको लगता है ये अपनी एरिया में मैं अपने गाँव में इनका कहीं इसी तरह से जो साइड जो सोच है वो उनको इन्हें करिए इन्हें जो मिलेगी सर बंदा everything was limited kan they had super tan then saya eu está cheio de em Starboy então ele também é oficial ele veio ali that can be as like
When we are laying on the work, not in the God, keep it up. So we take a minute. Just it's not.
Ini kau mesti dari kesian yang lihat, sudah betul-betul kalau ada dia dah mesti betul 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 lagi kan?
We get
Itu dia kan? Ini ini sakit sakit teman. Kalau ada tahu, ini tu kerja dah.
we see this is never
Jadi nesa persoalan mati ini. Tadi itu saya tahu kita ni ada das pengiat yang oh lepas itu
we got we can only
something different. Tadi pada penemuan sesuatu yang adalah sekarang ini dari sudah yang itu yang namanya kan program penjelasan de cómo se llama ini ada memang cerita cerita sampai kini
in the card and let the community party got a community forest. So you have उसमें पोस्ट हमें इन गाँव के लोगों ने भी तो करके ये जामुन राजा ऐसे with the language of work with an act. You know, the conversion be gauli ki to me. In the game, not just like people or the it tells me a little somebody to me. It's not be that you know, I didn't work to wear. With I see, I tell you that is that you when you place to do it. Feel it. By so we know them with and kept chase either on the milk or the for a sheet up. The finger come like what's the let's say and look flaky. Gravity. Up then we will take body affecting respect me your day or the having said that besides that there are many let's and after it my little smith on there are two here. I'll get the big being it's in our idea by time with
itu sih एक चीज और है अच्छा चीज ये जैविक खाद बनाते हैं ये फिर इसको सिंथेसिस एंड ऑनेस्ट है but in a few days like that's also thought in terms of the agriculture yeah we can see this like so now the move to Dr. Litika she shared her community perspective like what from you you are giving the weird and state we had a certain came one with landscape perception and recently you have experience with incidents you just point one from your experience or working in state that's what do you see the appreciate the state government as a so what work differently in city and what are the lessons we can learn from the city so so because I think some of these questions I've asked about a major and make it really is with it I so this keep approach doing it to think just kind of realities but so your question about it you think about as Canadians keep going mentioning the recent priorities that are there and it's suddenly trade but that will be being happening in the idea that's scary like we culture information we can second and that's quite so strict that's the economy happens because it's not really I types of that so you even say would be how they was but like the purchase only assessment the city administration opportunity assessment indicated at a high level lately I see resting opportunities as well as this cleanest intervention potential possibly. We have identified, different interventions. Some really includes looking at the priorities of like different calamities, because it's very like, government partners and European use one well, the agency. Simply to take consultations around some of that and identifying, yeah, internationally better but also focused on the livelihood purpose in company. It's done as a especially common methods out there like this of exploration. So your creation of slightly change funds that are what etc. And that they the value that we also saw to Germany face was that is why the thought and another was the spectators specific to the one that we have with black and white today. Now, I mean, done. For me, I see you is somewhat as a participation on similarly what they are shadowing that region. Not only governmental organization, and we were even doing the consultation stuff, but say, yeah, I think organization and making the comments of people thinking about value in development, capacity reading, etc. That maybe market research was one of the big challenges for the region itself. So when we started, so even the assessment has completed, we started sort of looking at how do we take our implementation. So we partnered with the Chartered and Development Department through NUU. Essentially coming to the question that was also asked earlier, how do you address any problems, right? We discussed about the opportunity for restoration it is, and then sort of through the council in partnership with the district administration, we identified an either partner with the password, actually found listed at one thing for the implementation, and then later we they take sort of a plan on pilot page is initially the must step how you can really implement the landscape, which some of it are significant constraints because funding as China indicated in the findings as well. However, the lot of clients, for instance, Mandega, Makwadati, National Government representing grant is claim is about infrastructure is for a natural source party planning, which with those 60% of the from Mandega in awareness for that, we was planning this is intentional to the question plan look at, and that's your piece of a possible governance modality that it was also made really I think it created made remotely to make the same operation ready the user weekly about a things that were hard. So it's something I think that has the latest that practice and we think margins. I know it's just paper what on that's what is the issues. But yeah, and then it's about converters but hard. And certain emphasis as I quick was changed since we started working on implementation. Respect that because the opportunity which is about the larger benefits and how can everything come together. It is the like that this implementation for all the collectors in terms of that's a kind of training plan you need this data. So in fact once we get into it, that it's a lot of this findings to the scale theory and about state as a right restaurant scaling it up and then to remind the script of in we have something happening. So that we like to actually see how this convergence project can be scaled up. Yes, even the 55 to 6 I believe. The time is up. I come back to the democratic basket. Yeah, and see it up. When we share about CDV, easy there is a different I think digitally. So what them say you are kind of so I work for you the material got them with Chikawa's experience from CD restoration. Today. Even don't look for the thing is not say it's some project. But the result it is do you look at
The,
any
the most important thing that for us is like layer of the table restoration. So now looking at engaging like any kind of intervention, action, I think any aspect which is that we need to look at. Really, specific in that area, are we need to like try to do yeah, I think that's the still the best direction. So this is dangerous in the hands of the virus. The was that it be essentially to practice. Especially for restoration, I think yeah, it's the show how communities can pick that needs. So it can I think out and is a housing at a solution in the community and issue for community to take it up. But the highest initiative it is to find it has to be it has to be just second but the solution truly good or you know and the mindset is also the market section it's the really the channel economic in a really showcase uh, will be seen inside the end show yeah the people towards his meaning hence so it to be a strong so maybe bringing it all it's a thing that like the current institutions really you know very beginning things really and it's any technology you need so like that Australia is a investments then we go to the ones then it was taking a lot in like and the rest of it is from the needs so on the games but we have to load which is and doing the thing adult art launching all existing things prosper with there fun of the partially working is at least us relevance in another you know is a good that is spectacular and self engagement so it's like actually do this like escape people like update ideas they say that like you can choose and see you the installation you got questions to give it to you that project people on it has to scale it has to scale set needs and that's the police say the state uh just has to fix the next I think that like it's a I mean it's a sending or rules system so
learning, and then you could try that. Well, these here is a job that can have a yeah, let's get the can is usually honest queued up again, not getting paid in the negative points. And should have go through the other when you can't take what's clear up. But I thought is the fact how far you ever needs to look at a person. So when I find session from creative is then I don't go into it different, you know, like when this that's always made sound, you know, you're in a speech, so you know, you incredibly difficult to money. Exactly, experience where is the idea that you put out? Because I already have it all over the type of the do such party.
and at least there is somebody if I'm the best in the side but the police don't the focus use get on stop between me you make him do it she's thank you for getting the data up but it's you think has to on this day you will find it and good tapi with you can find it I keep busy leaving I can push you really also that this is here I don't you let me let's see your back like you need it's but it's doing that it's now let's see you have a big piece of take the shock is amazing on blowing but that you see that and local the market the very I think it's okay. I think you thought it's there. Yeah, is it? It is. It's a hell. Listen, for it. Well, I'll take it. He's still saying, I see. That fake me, Elliot. I get it. What's it? You know, but it seems like I was being indeed. Slay boy. Man, thank you. God, the race. You got it. You know, but it. But it means the fucking available. That me. Funny media. Because it was like people. Translated. Happens. Becoming back to actually. Well, as soon as found and
I'm telling you, because it's actually a sad element for the community that she does for the that the kids go out in the channel. Like for example, I have to explain it to the how was it that in second that way of job is my school. You know, I could tell house there. Now, when the education is about to learn, this is main it does not came in the ship of the last year. Or I'm not we ship and pitch and let it for like we just say I shall be a 6 part biscuit. One shit on me. It's like I thought at the beach, it's up in the east. But if I have to piece that it's compact, it's like well, but
so the last next one.
it's actually but we put out for the better year. I mean, I did have to eat the and the more my God, I was the percent you out. Thank you. So it's just adapting by idea.
So all we did, Hela, were definitely shut off. Yes, yeah, just and to see take a seat. Smart. Okay. This but you should not to in the big watch what the not but do it in the team.
Send it on.
And as
Yeah, I'll say let me say that if you are you give it out to have. Should become dismantled. And we can like ask carefully, but let's get out with something to you. Everybody, please. You can move in there and want the people real expect knowledge. You know, like you are in your community and take it.
in the evening, it's also okay. Squeeze it. Split. You know, today, what I see here, on the same in regular, same track with that. So, and and will actually things for back the more routine. We cannot have things. These are you can see how the language can be step out issues. Shut those display. This you try to get down. Is next and the ridiculous stuff. That is simply murder. It's a
It was a then I don't know. How I say doing it. So it's only gets make me it was such enough to that the use screen but into a semi quality living. So I can check out around for China's good. So that they've done is of senior this year. I think here in the scale of the status of restoration efforts. So state was attempted but again you're seeing the door in the next state on the Sunday. Basically, this from a learning that is frustrating and then issues like the market is occupational complete to doing markets to reach on space. Essentially, it's a policy to make sure that, sometimes we start with regards to trade plantation. Every time that we do this serious which of destinations, I don't know. Essentially, we take actually some of those we don't have steps. And so, a lot more awareness. District plantation is actually not estimation. It was a conceptual landscape to anything and treated runs. I think the communities and stakeholders has to be unique in that are in the region and the ones which be deciding any intervention in the spaces. Usually, it's to be essentially a sort of capacity. We can have capacity. I guess it needs to be addressed at the level. It's in terms of the research that we talk about. We think about life approach that is say, similar to a arena level conversations and trainings. So I really, Spain is eventually champions. I mean, the big book stays also what we call as a traditional champion. So we really have to enable champions that to be in this way. So, look, features and capacity building on legacy landscape approach. The streets were going to have to find the Pura India with the noise and there's a lot of environment. Really has to be the entire ecosystem that as what we think about it. Basically means to think about the landscape, like we think about it, and make sure about the science stage. And so that's my had a point. And there's only the space for culture. Cyclic times. After we write that, restoration is non-gestation period. It's well known. They will think, it's agent of learning. Only are especially only of the context of small partners and holders. We have to achieve mentors of economic benefits towards. So if you have a CD, the other focus for covered soon, nutrient happens for instance, which it's like providing some of the nutrition needs immediately that may be there. It also focus we have some sort of when that's out and also from value chain development. As an example, which sort of helps in the additional linkage. However, as in lecture, I think like A is currently sort of three. I think as a B, recommend this so it's in a sort of processing center that has made set up and sort of time for sort of for work. Which clearly they 10 minutes of piece etc. And this could actually be embedded in and has been scared to schools and government offices. So these are just examples, right? When you think about building a restoration value chain, which is actually growing in the region, similar to achieving that really also an example. We start at being based on what's available, and then start what's the best way to process. That basis. But this case, after you see an enabling conditions, Doing between hobbies with our next skills, really the supplies, government, new service, what the government is how do we say, how is it, shape needs, etc. So, by I really think some of those becomes important. But yeah, that is the first and the last point on scaling is convincing. It's linked to the convergence again. And when we think about convergence, how are you converging public hearing? And also, things that might become public use, community foundation. Guys, you get the think what we knew what they about. The question is that, for instance, what happens with carbon credits? Like, conversation out there, conversation, or it's only that, you know, each should have to only go where you know what else to get. Essentially, it has strict digital audience, humanitarian restoration. Like, when you bring discussion back to the financing piece, and we have discussed it in India, financing started from public sales. Financial coming to you. If you are, if you have it's from your experience, we can do it. So, we have any experience to share with us, we can do it better. I think the line that's not an on your pharmacy.
But at the same age, but go. Yeah, I think it's cheaper recently than when we got it. And with when margin was taking my investigation to doctor. Check after sentiment and you put up if you commit to from power. Hence, we are essentially trying to reach point shopping. Also, we can incentivize the farmers. No, no, no. See, I think that you need here is financing at various levels and financing with various issues that come along this inflation. So, and if de-risking, basically you get the financing instruments in a list of products and ensuring that there is no more case. Okay, any of the entities, the private supports committing. And the thing is, speakings, if I what these at down at the ground level, so there is like within some those can be actually shut out and proceed as a sheet of chain. He was this we get so right and fruits it is with any sequence as can one major they do it. So please only any carbon credit with those spider and six credits is something that will be every things so what will is that space train look at biodiversity things in space and during actually like see transition journey artisan of food sacrificing that the last point in paid and as confidence maturing it. So let's see and for the student we level for these funding that's free available right and in the start there is to say eventually restoration and that's it's technology but it is directed towards natural resource management. We actually connect 10 restrictions deals with eventually restoration benefits. That is every say. And but it's important also identify this knowledge with existing uses and identify various kind actually even models for that. And so in this case, with financing relates papers. The check is doing quite up the exhaust civil chain. The other is like by checking financial and taken also smart because there are these which are like taken over that and this idea of destination. Right? And it also taken people and institutions to be social and actually pay these. I think what this European check that this also make it which global. This is going to it has potential. So we need to have such like frameworks coming in. It's actually, let's say, these standards, she, okay? So it's all.
How should the reform that? Option. Sponsor should like experience it. Like, what that experience of civil or looking at the structures. Maybe as I would say,
So in the hospital, police attend all which you get that. We then you just there on suspect to this. And it was this. I'm not the clips there. She very good. Sit on. That was a big coming back. You know, they can't what we can think of it. Music and you and and so okay, then copy story. So, I can really let it, but the end. We please, they and but we you could eat about any of the I'm gonna so we want let's see so that's the out here's the
thank you for the point. So, make it that's all you need to come out your organizations. They are select and copy it. So, hearts open those and so anybody have any
what the main person
place the catalyst. Please up. So, I don't know. Source, pattern, cut, down, stand answer. Like it. Definitely best. And that's the one thing is working. Something they another difficult working up yet. We can have the are different. What the officer going to dummy. You're telling you put your faces on. And it was there. It's not really, but really sure. And it actually, I am the taste, but you can hear about it. It's see.
it's not what about we don't use extra get the use but think of the lost behind being there there's an overcome you work graduation में बहुत you work in the family photos doing that I think Nova so there is the marketing we have to say the is can be what बने हुए हैं जैसे इनके सिर्फ एक बनी कई क्वेश्चन लेना उनका अनेक यूनिट नेटेबल इंग्लिश टेक्स्ट से अनेक करते हैं डिजिटल मैसेज कि होटल इन न्यूज़ पर इन सभी का प्रोसेसिंग इनके ग्राम्स में होता है अगर उसका मार्केटिंग लोकली और पार की तरफ है इनमें मिला ये डिग्री लगती है बाहर से लोगों की फाइनेंस मार्केटिंग leading structure in the studio something that culture. When the in terms of step even IPT running, but clear. Once a house it has died, regulated is right. We started meaning to team. Start researching every thought of materially, Jamon, I look she's for the media. In the can start it while they do something added. Idea of a physical thing. It's technology that government आके उनको विस्तार से ही it's not being like a community ownership in it's all you same virtually virtual में 80% मुझे और ये सरकार के बारे में जो नीति को की है अभी मैंने उसका बेनिफिट मिल रहा है इसके मेरे नहीं चल रहा है तो इसकी बात छोड़ो इसलिए भी पब्लिक नहीं रहा
Political talking about that. Ever. Really, really, quite celebrating is that. Only so I can talk. But really fast. Yeah, these other people. Yeah, with me. It needs time. Everything my head. Getting by it. What is it? It's only when you use in our people. Take a thing is something.
Robert
You know how they do into really up. When you do outside, they have to be especially for that. No, I can make me, but you know, you will see about Tom. The guy don't know. Yeah, but it's like think about something that they shoot and not in investigate that. You can put that in your house. That's out there. It doesn't look easy. It's a big scale of it. I will turn up there. So, what? She just there. So, yeah, but I keep looking. I think nonsense. Very good speaker say that two of them are going to start to read the if you just know I think it. Hopefully you're paying. Can speak. I'm pretty reasonable. Like racial and I'm in this app. I did some I can bet you get to know it. Ultimately, let's keep but this program sounds there. And they can't they which in line you're up. They're all there, even it's mix up something. Young, what? Something there, here, but when you have cheats, everything. There's something with the country. You in there. Let's not even soon of pizza. Yeah. Doesn't have like the big but teenage whereas in planning the city of the kid, but they think it could be hard. You got your things. And we thought good stuff right there. And you are like the well young to me. Yeah, I think we should talk around. So, yeah. What's the with the ski? It's this is not in more than we did see. You can see very yeah, you got it in there. Get in there. Yeah, it's really calling it your home. If that's what you're doing here. Yeah, I'm seeing it. Say my name. Is that me? I don't know. The people I need that again. Smack my little bit, my extra machine bit. So this bit comes to the evening that you let it go. I sound amazing. Wait. What is service? I think हमारी कोशिश ये थी जब हम लोग दिल्ली में भी एक लग गया बहुत समय हर जो ये हमारे पीछे गाँव में इतना डिस्ट्रिक्ट में पहुंची है पे कुछ इंटरवेंशन होना चाहिए क्या नहीं करें जो हमारी व्यवस्थित होती है सीता एरिया में किस तरह का काम हो रहा है वो सारा एक्चुअली क्वेश्चन करने के बाद इन लोगों ने इंटरवेंशन में हमारे ये लोग चुने उसके बाद भी लोग वापस जाके ये डिस्कस किया गया कि अब टीचर कुछ बदलना चाहिए तो ये कई बार पहले ही दिया कि पिछली स्पेसिफिक पर्सन पहले के लिए नहीं बोल रहे कि सुनो तो से बोल रहे लेकिन और उसमें ही वह कोशिश है उसमें आगे एक इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज कैसे करेंगे इसके लिए मैं सतीश मैं हो सकते हैं मैं तो नहीं बात कर सकती इसलिए ये पार्टनरशिप थोड़ा डिफरेंट इंस्टीट्यूशन पर कम टुगेदर इज इम्पोर्टेंट अपना रिसर्च और तो हमारा थोड़ा सा जो फाइनेंसिंग की बात हमारे से कर रहे थे तब हम सोच रहे हैं कि किस तरह की एंटरप्राइजेस कैपेसिटी इसमें हम जोड़ेंगे उनको आरोग्य साथी वो वहीं पे है तो मैं जो उनकी आगे है अगर जैसे पढ़ेंगी किसी तरह से बताएंगे सो इस पर बहुत बात करेंगे और साथ में मिल के इससे प्रोसेसिंग पे काफी बात करनी चाहिए कन्वर्जन का कोई जो बहुत जरूरी है वाला जो अभी तक डिस्ट्रिक्ट बात हुआ है उसमें यही क्या है वहाँ भी काम किया होमवर्क करेंगे मैं एमओयू भी बनाया है तो उसके बाद आगे किसी प्लानिंग हो वही हमारे स्टेज नेक्स्ट स्टेप्स होंगे स्पेशली अगर हम सेफ की बात करें वो भी बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है मुझे पता है कि इसमें भी लोगों के अलग अलग ओपिनियंस भी हो सकते हैं देखिए कि हम ये रजिस्ट्रेशन हम ये पढ़ाना चाह रहे हैं मल्टीपल ऑप्शंस पे डिस्कशन तो जरूरी है we have a research that's discussing we discussed it properly and then I was a person the people take a picture
Actually, this is the only way I have seen it. I must have been questioning my life, participation. Why not get the date? In the artist TV. I agree with you, see, don't need to know me. 8 years of capability, you know, it's not. Right? Important, बहुत important. जिस संजना ने वे श्री मैदान के खेती का कुछ हिस्सा भी यूज पहले नहीं था इसमें डिसीजन मेकिंग में भी महिलाएं कुछ अभी दूसरा लॉजिक we are mechanical and get solid started smooth from the management training भी बना ये भी जो अलग में हमने जो सारा किया इस तरह का एक मैनेजमेंट टाइप है उसमें हरियाणा का सभा किसी टाइम भाई आप टूरिस्ट जो है वो इकोनॉमी में की बात करेंगे बांग्लो की बात करें मेरा उसमें पार्टिसिपेट होती नहीं तो जैसे कुछ है सेट्स उसकी वीडियो स्पैक डेली लाइवलीहुड के लिए भी उसका उपयोग होता है लेकिन उस टाइम के बारे में वो बताती है कि उसकी संख्या बढ़ती है ये कहीं हुआ है तो ये उनका नॉलेज टाइम पर है उसने आई विल कल्चरिंग में जंगल से बहुत कल्चरल नाता है जी सब मवा की बात है मवा का पेड़ इनका नहीं इनकी पूजा में या शादी में मवा का पेड़ ये होता है इसलिए हमारे यहाँ मवा जो आज की है पूरा इकोनॉमी जो उसको ऐसे कहीं है उनका सिस्टम सेल कन्वर्सेशन का उनका सिस्टम है जैसे कि उनके उनके एक ही तो वो इकोनॉमिकली फॉरेस्ट वाले कल्चर्स इनको भी उसके में करने वाले सब भी संडेदा के संबंधन के लिए होता है कि गवर्नमेंट का स्कीम में बंधन के लिए उसका स्कीम है वो इसलिए वो से ये है वो सारा बंधन केंद्र में उस तरह के डिजिटल भी महिलाएं दे रही है म्यूजिकल इसके महिलाओं का स्वभाव उनकी जैसे इसका करेंगे कोई भी सस्टेनेबल लिमिटेड ये मीटिंग में भी ये देखते हैं जैसे अपने type of remark on its wide adoption for years. At least where I've been selling things like good talking. Emphasis from them is that was straight on actually there. So I beginning because there are examples of 100% cases needed married. ये सारी क्या है वो तो सिखाई की बात है लेकिन वो नहीं है कि तो पावर में रखा इन बातें सीधे सीधे नहीं लेकिन आपके लिए भी वो पैसे आने की शुरू में आओ इसलिए बातें इसके कुछ
So, and so one year, just that we are going to the you know, exciting report combining some people's mind. And everything is like it's not just John's personality. Then also we can make not a bit of yes, yeah, not just is it? Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Although you might need less if you prices or taste with you. First, I don't people to know that you like it about because really happy even think with in the function it. I really believe actually the town. The panic says over the especially in this start talking about priority yesterday. See, I heads to balance. It is technology institution of the stakeholders who can ensure that it gets done. How help is he here on an email? Especially this is so evidence. The knowledge is so it means the games.
I think I'm going to okay. You're just a little dog. And the you know, the times thank you so much, and thank you everyone. You've been very patient and wonderful audience. So, if you have any questions, please feel free to report to anyone who's been during the night, really afterwards. If you want to contact me first, so that we can comment and listen. And I think with this, we can close this section. I hand it over to Sean. Okay, thank you, see. The best is come to and take this way aside the session. I will again thank all of the panelists for contributing to such vital discussion. The takeaways will help us make the ecosystem restoration efforts on the ground to help us meet the presence of nature and climate. मैं आपसे थोड़ा धन्यवाद करती हूँ इस बनाने के लिए यहाँ से मेरी सीख है हमें इकोसिस्टम रेस्टोरेशन एफर्ट्स के प्रयत्न भी करने आगे बढ़ाने में ऐसे बल्कि जलवायु के अंतर्गत में सहायक होंगे सभी को फिर से धन्यवाद and request comments on the stage to please any comments or anything like that please do it like